You know that idea we all seem to chase? Get the promotion, buy the house, hit that big goal, and then we'll finally be happy. But what if we've had it completely backwards this whole time? Okay, let's dive into this because some fascinating research out of Harvard is about to flip that entire script on its head.
For years, we've all been following the formula on the left. Work hard, become successful, and then you'll be happy. But this research, it completely reverses it. It shows that happiness isn't the prize you get at the finish line, it's actually the fuel that helps you run the race faster in the first place.
And this right here is the game-changing shift in thinking. Success doesn't reliably create lasting happiness, it's the other way around. A happier, more positive mindset literally increases your chances of success in your career, your health, your relationships, pretty much everywhere. Happiness is the cause, not the effect.
And look, this isn't just some feel-good mantra. This is backed by some serious data. A massive review of over 200 different studies found a powerful, consistent link. A happy brain is just flat out more productive, more resilient, and more creative. So the real question is, how do we actually do it?
Okay, so we've just tackled that big misconception. Now we're going to get practical and introduce a guide called the SPIRE framework. We'll break down the 5 pillars: spiritual, physical, intellectual, relational, and emotional, and then wrap it all up with a key takeaway.
So let's get right into the framework. This isn't about sitting around and waiting for happiness to find you. Nope. This is a practical system for building it intentionally, bit by bit, day by day.
This is the SPIR model. It was developed by Harvard's Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar, and it's what you'd call a holistic approach. It recognizes that real, lasting happiness isn't about just one thing. It comes from nurturing 5 distinct but totally interconnected areas of your life.
And here they are, the 5 pillars. SPIRE. It stands for spiritual, physical, intellectual, relational, and emotional well-being. I like to think of them as the 5 legs of a table. If one is too short, or maybe even missing, the whole thing gets wobbly and unstable. The goal here is balance across all 5.
So let's start with the first 2 pillars, which really form the foundation of our well-being, spiritual and physical. This is all about finding your purpose and just honoring the basic needs of your body.
Now, when we say spiritual well-being, let's be clear. This isn't necessarily about religion. It's about finding a sense of meaning, a purpose. And for a lot of us, that just means getting engaged with something that feels a little bigger than our day-to-day grind.
And you don't have to quit your job to find it. Seriously, just try dedicating 15 to 30 minutes a day to a passion project or a hobby. The key here is to consciously swap out that mindless doom scrolling with an activity that actually excites you.
Next up is physical well-being. We live in this hustle culture where being exhausted is worn like some kind of badge of honor. But the research is crystal clear. That approach always backfires. Rest isn't a luxury. It's a biological necessity for success. And here's a super important distinction. What a lot of us think is rest, scrolling through social media or binge-watching a show, is actually just constant low-grade stimulation for our brains. What we really need is deep recovery. Stuff like quality sleep or true mindful relaxation.
The point is just to be intentional about your rest. Prioritize those 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Break up long stretches of sitting with a little bit of movement. And maybe try choosing a mindful activity like reading over just passively scrolling.
All right, let's move on to the next 2 pillars. These are all about how we connect and engage with the world around us, and of course the people in it, intellectual and relational well-being.
In today's world of endless short-form videos, our ability to focus deeply is, it's under attack. Intellectual well-being is the antidote. It's all about actively engaging your natural curiosity, because learning about things that genuinely fascinate you is one of the most reliable paths to feeling fulfilled. And I just love this quote from Einstein. He didn't chalk up his genius to some special innate talent. Nope. He said it was his passionate curiosity. And that's something any of us can cultivate. It's about being engaged, not about being a genius. So how do you do it? It's simple. So simple. Just swap 15 minutes of scrolling for a podcast or a book on a topic you find cool. Carve out a tiny bit of time each day to actively learn something new, and just think about how you might use it. Now we come to what might be the single most important pillar of them all, relational well-being. The big idea here is social fitness.
Just like you go to the gym to work out your body, you have to actively work to keep your relationships healthy.
The evidence for this is it's staggering. Harvard ran one of the longest studies on adult life ever done. They tracked a group of men for over 80 years, monitoring their health, their careers, their happiness, everything.
And after all that time, the conclusion was unmistakable. The single biggest predictor of a happy, healthy, and long life wasn't how much money they had or how famous they were or even their cholesterol levels. It was the quality of their close relationships. Period.
So this means we have to be intentional about it. Schedule time with people you care about, just like you would a business meeting. Simple rituals, like a weekly phone call or a regular coffee date, can make all the difference in the world.
And that brings us to our final pillar, which is all about mastering our inner world, emotional well-being.
Emotional health is not about feeling happy all the time. I mean, that's impossible, right? We all feel stress, sadness, frustration. The key isn't to ignore those feelings or push them down. It's to acknowledge them and process them. The goal is regulation, not suppression.
And again, the solution is in these small, consistent habits. Just 10 minutes of journaling can be totally transformative. A short walk, a few minutes of mindful breathing, these simple practices give you some space and prevent that stress from building up.
And this quote from Dr. Ben Shahar just perfectly sums up the entire philosophy. Happiness isn't some destination you finally arrive at one day. It's found in the process itself, in the meaningful, day-to-day experience of growing and striving. It's the climb, not the summit.
So here's the big takeaway. You don't have to change everything all at once. I know, looking at all 5 pillars can feel like a lot, so just start small, pick one thing, just one. Are you going to swap 15 minutes of scrolling for reading? Or maybe schedule one coffee date with a friend this week? The journey always begins with a single step. The only question is, which one will you choose?